Hi, my name is Sulek and welcome to my video on improvisation in Teental. Now many of you will already be familiar with Teental. You'll know that it's a cycle of 16 beats, or 16 Matra. You might also be familiar with the ball of the main tekka. If by any chance you're not, then do feel free to download my beginner's course at www.tabla.co.uk. There you can see exactly the ball of the cycle, how it's played, how it's clapped, exactly how to play it. But the purpose and the focus of this video is to teach you how to improvise within the cycle. And by that, I mean how to play and make the taal more exciting, but still keeping the framework of Tin Taal intact. Why would we want to do this? Well, of course we want to keep the beat going, so we want to keep the framework of the tekka, but we also want to make the rendition of a sitar, a flute, or a sarod, or an instrumental composition, or a vocal composition much more exciting when we accompany. So, if we can learn how to improvise a little bit within the Tin Taal cycle, then we can enhance the overall instrumental or vocal rendition. So, this is how we're going to do it. So the first thing to understand when you're improvising within Tin Taal is to understand that it's a 16-beat cycle and it's split into 4 equal bars of 4 matra, or 4 beats. Then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to explain how each of those bars can be improvised in turn, and then right at the end I'm going to play the whole rendition together and improvise within all the 4 bars. But the important thing is, I should try to keep the framework of Tin Taal intact. But what do I mean by the framework of Tin Taal? Well, I mean the notes of the basic tekka, the textbook tekka that everyone is familiar with. It goes like this. Ta din din ta 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 and ta. So that's the framework upon which we're now going to improvise in each bar. So the 4 bars are split like this. Da din din da in bar 1, da din din da again, so that's bar 2, then da din din da, that's bar 3, and finally da din din da for bar 4. And those are the 4 bars split equally with 4 matra in each bar. Let's take the bars now individually and improvise each one in turn. So first of all, I'm going to take the last bar, which goes ta din din da, and I'm going to change the ball of that to traka din din na, and see how it goes. So the last bar is ta din din da, and I'm now going to make that traka din din na. So how would my Tin Taal now sound with the new improvisation of the new notes in the last bar? Well, it goes like this. Ta din din da da din din da. Da din din da, traka din din na, da din din da, da din din da, din din da, traka din din na. You may have heard this tekka very commonly played. It's a very, very common way of improvising the last bar in Tin Taal. In fact, it's so common that many people include it as a main tekka. But there you go, it's a little improvisation from the textbook version in the last bar of ta din din da. I've now changed that to traka din din na, and as you can see, the result I got was da din din da da din din da da din din da traka din din na. I'm now going to improvise the 3rd bar. So the 3rd bar is normally played da din din da. Once again, normally the 3rd bar is da din din da. But I'm going to improvise it now as da traka din na, da traka din na. So my 3rd bar is going to be da traka din na, where the din is played on the shahi. So now, how would my Tin Taal cycle sound? And bear in mind, we're going to keep the fourth bar the same as Din Din Na, what we did in the previous improvisation. So how would it sound in total? It would be Da Din Din Da Da Din Din Da Da Din Na Din Din Na Da Din Din Na Da Din Din Na Da Din Na Din Din Na. That's how it would sound improvised in the third and fourth bar if we did our changes as we've done. Let's now see what we can do with the second bar and improvise that, and then try to put the thing together. So bar 2 in Teental is normally played Da Din Din Da. Once again, bar 2 is normally played Da Din Din Da. But this time, I'm going to improvise it and change the ball to Da Di Gina Din Na. Once again, Da Di Gina Din Na. So instead of Da Din Din Da, I'm going to play in bar 2 Da Di Gina Din Na. And I'm going to now add the improvisation that we did already in bar 3 and bar 4. Put it all together. So we've now got a little improvisation in bars 2, 3 and 4. Remember, we're still keeping that framework in Teental intact that's so important. And we're going to see how it sounds. So it'll go something like this. Da din din da, da di gina din na, da 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 din na, da din din na, da din din na, da di gina din na, da 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 din na, da da din din na, da din din na, da di gina din na, da 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 din na, da da din din na. It's already sounding a lot more interesting, isn't it, than simply da din din da da din din da da din din da da din din da. We've come slightly away, haven't we? But you can still see and feel the framework of Teental intact. And that's really important, because when you're accompanying somebody or when you're playing Teental, it's not just important to improvise sort of in any way that you please, but it's important to stick to some of the rules of Teental where you keep that framework intact of the normal bowl, of the normal cycle. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a little improvisation in the first bar. So the first bar in Teental is normally played Da Din Din Da. Once again, normally Da Din Din Da. That's our first bar, very standard, very well known. But this time, I'm going to change the ball. Again, I'm going to improvise it slightly and play Da Din Din Na Gina. Once again, Da Din Din Na Gina. Once again, Da Din Din Na Gina. Okay, so instead of playing Da Din Din Da, I'm going to play Da Din Din Na Gina. And then also, I'm going to keep bars 2, 3 and 4 as improvised. And now we're going to see how that sounds. Okay, remember, just as a recap, bar 2 was Da Di Gina Din Na, Da Traka Din Na, and then Traka Din Din Na for bars 2, 3 and 4. So our whole cycle is now going to be Da Di Gina Gina, Da Di Gina Din Na, Da Traka Din Na, Traka Din Din Na, Da Di Gina Gina, Da Di Gina Din Na, Da Traka Din Na, Traka Din Din Na. Doesn't that sound much more interesting, much more exciting? So what we did, we took each bar individually, improvised them, and look, once we put the whole thing together, wow, that's you know, much more interesting, isn't it, to play than simply the main tick-up. Now, of course, you don't have to improvise every bar when you play. You could simply improvise one of the bars. Say, for example, bar 2. Da din din da da din din da din da da din din da da din din da da din din da da din da din da din din da da din din da da. You could maybe perhaps just improvise bars 3 and 4. Da din din da da din din da da din da din din da da din da din din da da din da din din da. And maybe you could just improvise bar 1. Da din din da din da da din din da da din din da da din din da. So, finally, to round off, what I'll do is I'll play the main take off Tin Taal, and then once again I'll improvise on all the different bars separately and then put it all together for you. So I hope you enjoyed my video on improvising in Tin Taal. Hope you picked up lots of little tips about how to improvise within the cycle, step by step. And of course it's important not to over-improvise when you're accompanying an instrumentalist or a vocalist. You know, of course you want to be exciting in the cycle, but at the same time you don't want to overdo things. But it's really nice to throw a few things in now and again, make your accompaniment exciting and make it fun for the listener too. If you're interested, for beginners particularly, I have a 10-lesson beginners course. Explains everything, how to play all the notes individually, some great exercises, warm-ups, fantastic starter compositions, and 4 basic taals as well to get you started. That's available once again on www.tabla.co.uk. Yeah, and I'll see you next time with my next video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon.